It's Monday, September 22nd. I'm Adam Walsh, and this is The Signal. Today on the show, we're talking about transitioning to a greener economy. With us in studio, folks from EcoNext, a not-for-profit that wants to accelerate clean growth. We will unpack what that means and what's happening in Newfoundland and Labrador around it. Okay, Laura Barron is here, CEO of EcoNext. Hello, congrats on the gig.
Thank you so much, Adam. Great to be here.
Quick question before we go to the other two. Why did you want to be, because we've been in touch, but you're new in the position. How long is it in the position?
I think I'm in week 7 now.
Week 7, so still very fresh.
Yes.
Why did you want to be CEO of EcoNext?
I mean, the team is doing excellent work. I was working in the renewable energy industry for the last 3.5 years, and so I was a member of EcoNext, and so was familiar with some of the work the group was doing. And when I saw the role come up, I just thought, what an opportunity to work with all of the organizations in the province that are focused on the green economy, not just one, right? So what an exciting opportunity. And now that I've become part of the organization, I see what great team members we have, the exciting projects they're working on, the in-house expertise we have. So I'm very grateful to be part of the organization.
And to give people a better description or explanation of EcoNext than what I gave in my intro, because it was really quick. Tell us more about EcoNext.
It was pretty good, Adam.
Oh, thank you. I think Arlette Lazarenko just kind of took stuff from your website and condensed it really well. Good job, Arlette. I got the thumbs up there. Just tell us more.
Sure. So EcoNext is Newfoundland and Labrador's environmental industry association, as you said. So we work with businesses, communities, researchers, governments to solve environmental challenges and to build our provincial green economy. And we have about 200 members across the province who are working in environmental services and clean technologies. And most of our work is across 3 work streams. So the first is we stimulate innovation, research, and development in the green economy. So we identify challenges and opportunities. The second is workforce development, and that's Ogaga's expertise. So we identify the skills that the workers will need for the green economy and then help them get those skills. And then thirdly, but really this is overarching for the organization, is net zero initiatives. So we focus on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, waste management, minimizing waste, and sustainable development practices.
All right. Thank you for that. You mentioned Ogaga. Ogaga Johnson is back here on the Signal. How you doing?
I am good, Adam. Good to be back.
So, Director Workforce Development. I know you've explained it before, but explain it again if you could.
So, as you can imagine, people power the economy, right? People are the greatest asset of any business, of any organization. So with workforce development, we do research to understand what is the skills, what are the number of people we'll need for the emerging green economy here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Based on that data, then we have various initiatives, whether it's to upskill for the skills that are in demand or will be in demand in terms of the research, and then also to connect businesses to the right skills in order to, grow their businesses and to indeed accelerate clean growth within the province.
We talk on the show a lot about the transition to a greener economy. Some folks say the just transition. Essentially, it is trying to lower carbon pollution in the economy and move to something that is greener, cleaner, that doesn't use fossil fuels. In your position, what kind of a time is this for looking for these jobs? And what kind of opportunity do you see out there right now?
So I think we're already in the greening. We're not, yes, there's just transition and different initiatives, but I think every business should be green, should have a green aspect to it, which means that this is the time for people to improve their skills and participate in the economy, because every single business will have some element or aspect of green. And also that just means that regardless of your skills or your expertise, you can find a place for yourself in the green economy. You can participate. You don't have to be, because I see here different, you have to be an environmental scientist. No, you can be anything. I'm in workforce development, right? Yeah. It's not technical, But yet I'm here and I'm participating, I'm contributing and playing a part in ensuring a greener economy here in Newfoundland and Labrador, which, will ripple effect to global as well.
Why this job for you? Like when you were kind of looking around and you thought, hey, maybe this is the job for me. Like, why now? Why you for this?
So I have a background in sustainable energy systems, and I schooled in the United Kingdom, and that was some years back. And I already saw the sustainable environment, sustainable economy growing and building up there. So moving to Canada to work, at first I wasn't in the sustainable field. I was doing project management, but I also love people. I like seeing people be their best version of themselves and, fully utilizing their skills. Because I usually say that one of the greatest wastage we have is actually people skills, because people can do much more. Some people can do much more than what they're doing now. So in this role, I'm able to identify untapped talent and make them see the opportunities in the green economy and show them a path to participate and fully utilize their skills in the sustainable field. So that just combines all the different things I love, my background, my passion together. And this was just, the perfect fit.
All right. Okay. And we can dig into some of that stuff. Alex Rumbold is here too, Business Sustainability Lead. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell us about your job.
Yeah, so I'm the Business Sustainability Lead. The main part of my job is that I lead our greening business in Newfoundland and Labrador project. It's a very long title. But in short, I basically help businesses become more green.
Okay. So what's an example of something becoming more green?
Yeah, so something that we see happening lately is businesses that perhaps have a large fleet of vehicles choosing to electrify their vehicles.
Right.
So, saving on the greenhouse gas emissions while also getting the added benefit of reduced costs.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why did you want to work for EcoNext?
Yeah, so my education background is in commerce, and then I chose to pursue a master's degree in sustainable management. I have such a big passion for the environment and sustainability, so I wanted to use my knowledge to help businesses to become more green. The climate change is one of the most pressing issues of our time, and businesses do have a role to play in that, so getting to help them become more green is great.
So what are those conversations like? I'm kind of curious because I find for me, I talk every day about a bunch of stuff, but climate change, it's a big topic here on the show. And I get folks like you in, and other times we talk to some people will phone in sometimes. And there's always a range of, you have experts of any different range of understanding. You have folks who are sometimes newer to some of the understandings around climate change, and also some people who still are unsure, even with the weight of science that is out there. When you talk to individual businesses, what are those conversations like for you?
I'd say for the most part, businesses are aware.
Yeah.
They know that they have a role to play. And I think a lot of businesses really want to play that role and work to become more green. I definitely see some challenges, mainly that, people don't quite have the knowledge to make these changes, and that's where we can help.
Yeah.
Another challenge is, having businesses are busy, business owners are really busy, having the capacity to take on these sorts of projects to become more green. And again, that's where we can help them.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? Because sometimes I think things can feel like, one extra thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to run my business, deal with my family stuff, live, and now someone's asking me, but it's like, no, we're here to help. And actually, this is, and a lot of times this might be able to actually save you some costs too.
Yeah. And I think some businesses also are feeling more pressure as more regulations come into effect relating to the environment. Other businesses are talking about how they want to get involved in ESG reporting, which is environmental, social, and governance reporting.
What is that? If I say environmental, social, governance reporting, what would a description be on what that means?
Yeah, so environmental, obviously speaking to your environmental impacts as a business.
Okay.
So reporting on your GHG emissions, things like that, your waste. And then on the social side, how you impact communities, how you impact people through your business. And the governance is then like the how you operate internally.
Okay, so like it's your impact on a community and beyond, right? So
Yeah.
you're, like how you work within a community and who you're kind of connected with, but also it's like how much are you polluting? Where's your what kind of garbage are you producing? Where's that going? Like, are you recycling? Are you composting? Are you electrifying your fleet or not? Or, like all of that stuff,
Yeah.
and to keep track of it because that all matters.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for businesses who are looking for investment or funding opportunities, a lot of times they're required to do this ESG reporting in some capacity. So
Yeah.
they're feeling the need to have a better understanding of their impacts.
So, Laura, for yourself, as we're hearing from just some of the range for EcoNext, what do you think about the ongoing conversation that is happening and needs to continue to happen when we think about climate change and the green shift, the decarbonizing that is going on within this province and where we should go?
I mean, there's a lot of great work being done,
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to do in terms of helping communities and businesses and individuals understand the role that they can play in climate mitigation, in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, minimizing waste, instituting sustainable everyday practices. I think the province put out climate adaptation and climate mitigation plans this summer that were on the right track. In terms of the actions that are outlined, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in actually implementing those plans. So I think, the foundation's there, but there's a lot of tangible work that needs to happen in the coming years and decades to get us to our net zero 2050 target.
Yeah, right. Because when we say mitigation, we're talking about polluting less, putting less carbon out into the world. So how do we do that, right? If it's, for example, an organization like CBC, it's one thing is changing the fleet to electric. So then all of a sudden you're polluting less. That all goes in the to be tabulated for how much is being emitted. And if you look at a bigger company that may pollute more, the more they do to reduce that, mitigation. Adaptation. Well, we've just been through a summer of wildfires. And the question is, where do we go next around how we build places, what we look at for fire breaks, these types of things. So these are and fill me in if I'm going off track.
Right. No, you're on track.
So that's the two different ways we look at things, right? So then with EcoNext, what kind of advice do you put in for trying to either help the province, because I know you folks gave advice to the province, or just for other people for trying to understand where we are for mitigation and adaptation?
Yeah. So in terms of adaptation, you're right. It's about limiting the damaging effects of climate change. That's really what adaptation's focused on. And so in terms of, businesses, we talk about sustainable infrastructure that can withstand the extreme weather events, flooding, fires, rebuilding and repairing in the face of those events. For communities, same kind of thing. Infrastructure is a huge piece, and so we do a lot of work. We have a partnership with Climate Atlantic, and we have an in-house climate services specialist who focuses specifically on climate adaptation and advises communities on how they can adapt to a changing climate. When it comes to climate mitigation, that's the bigger piece. And you're right, it's about
the whole. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's about reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Also about negative emissions.
Yeah.
So looking at processes and technology to reduce and capture the amount of carbon in the atmosphere.
Even though there's nothing that's scalable there yet, right?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We're very early days here, especially in Newfoundland and Labrador. I know the province is working with Memorial University. There's a team of research working on a carbon capture project. I believe it's the only one of kind of scale that's being looked at right now here in the province. So that's a major opportunity here for businesses and for researchers. And then, of course, mitigation. When we look at, we're in a very fortunate position that our provincial, our Newfoundland and Labrador hydro is about 92% renewable energy at this point. There's, that 8% that could be upped, but we also need to look at the renewable energy export opportunity. So there's a lot there because that's not just offsetting some of our provincial emissions. It's helping with reduce global greenhouse gases, right?
Yeah.
And then waste management is a huge piece as well. Working with the province, working with partners like MMSB, there's a significant amount of the waste going into landfills is organic waste. About 40% of the volume of waste in landfills is organic. And there are other uses for organic waste. Of course, there's composting, but there's also energy and fuel.
Because of methane,
production.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So right now what's happening, the stuff, so for example, this morning when I made coffee and I put my coffee filtered coffee grounds into my garbage, and that is going to go to Robin Hood Bay into the landfill. If there's more composting, then perhaps there's a way to take some of the methane that can come from stuff rotting, essentially, to be used for energy, to power things, as opposed to just going to a landfill. And this is done in municipalities all around the world, right? And there are composting programs in this province, just there's not a bigger one. So like this is something else to be looked at with the MMSB, like you're saying, right? Okay. And you work with, there's lots of different companies that you work with, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like for example, Ashley Noseworthy with Edgewise Environmental.
Yes.
All right. Well, guess what? Ashley's on the line. So the part of what we're doing here for the show today with EcoNext, we're talking about it's a climate change discussion. It's a discussion about moving into a greener economy, what that can mean for jobs, what that can mean for businesses. Some of the hurdles to that, some of the assistance with that, and then also different companies who are collaborating and working with EcoNext. So Ashley Noseworthy, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell us about Edgewise.
Edgewise is a marine environmental consulting firm, and we focus in monitoring the ocean, and our specific expertise is marine mammals, seabirds, and underwater noise.
So expand a little bit on this. So that's a great intro into it. So what's the daily work that goes on, and where does this work go, and who benefits from it? I mean, I can kind of guess from what you said, but I'm just curious for a bit more of an explanation.
So Edgewise is a little bit unique in that while we are a consulting company, and so we'll work with any industry that works in oceans that might be creating noise in the water. We also offer training, and we do research and development as well. So we're part of a number of research initiatives, and some of those help to inform some of our products and policies internally, and other pieces of research inform policy and knowledge externally for public consumption.
Why is ocean noise so important to think about?
It was always a passion of mine, and I think it's something that it's definitely become more in the public sphere. But ultimately, I think it's something that not many people have really thought about. Yeah. And unless you're directly confronted with it, if you've either experienced it or you've had a chance to understand, then it might not be. You might think, well, what's the big concern? But having a specialty in marine mammals, that's how they communicate, is with sound. And so understanding underwater noise can only potentially benefit how we can protect marine mammals.
So anytime you have any type of underwater, from shipping to sometimes underwater exploration, that can be with oil and gas, just regular ships going by, or also if sometimes you have other ships with sonar and that type of thing, all of this stuff can obviously impacts marine mammals, marine life, and we need it. The more we understand about it, the better it can be for us trying to protect them, right?
You got it. You summarized it very nicely.
Thank you.
Well done.
And this is why it's important to monitor and to figure stuff out. So then, for yourself, how did you get involved with EcoNext, and what was that like?
So I've been involved with EcoNext since 2018. Since I incorporated the company, I saw that EcoNext stood out. There was a lot of value to be a member. At the time, they were continuously offered a number of programs, ways to get involved, advocacy for the industry across the province, and they've only grown. And admittedly, throughout the years, I've been part of the board, and I'm no longer currently part of the board. I'm on hiatus because we do have to take a break. And so it's one of those memberships where they will reach out directly if they think that there's a good fit for a program or an initiative or an RFP that comes out that might fit you.
Oh, Guy, you worked with him, right?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about it. Well, we have Ashley on the line, if you could.
Yes, so Ashley is one of our champions when it comes to workforce development, especially workforce development when you talk about like diversifying the workforce, ensuring that everyone has a part to play in the workforce, regardless of race, gender, it doesn't matter, you have a part to play. So Ashley, we've worked with Ashley twice now in the workforce space, where our company has provided mentorship as well as work placement to whether it's a newcomer or a student so that they can have their first real Canadian work experience. And the stories from that are so amazing where someone says, this was one of the best experiences of my life. Like,
Okay.
to hear that, I'm like, of your life? Are you sure? But it's really amazing. And she's been a great mentor as well. Also, with some of the programs we've done, I can remember one vividly, we went to the launch and she did real life demonstration of how to monitor the sounds in the ocean, the water at the launches and ocean facility, and just having the different people from different walks of life, whether they're underemployed. We had a range of job seekers there. Just listening to that and seeing what it feels like to walk in the green space was very empowering for them, and it gave them more information to decide if a career in the green space is actually worth it. And we have so many people from that have transitioned into working in the green space. So it's been very effective.
Ashley, what was it like for you?
It was a fantastic experience. So we've had, like Ogaga said, we've had a number of people come through from programs with EcoNext. And part of the internal ethos Edgewise is that everybody has a space in the green economy, and that it's not just the hardcore technical skills that you require, but it's also a variety of different backgrounds, everything from admin to marketing and business. And it's really important that you have diverse perspectives in all of those places. So being part of those programs allowed us to further diversify internally and kind of continue to build on that ethos, which is really important to us.
So long term or short to medium term, just looking ahead to the future, what are your thoughts on everything you've seen for this green transition and these types of jobs for folks for Newfoundland and Labrador? What are your thoughts on opportunity that's ahead?
I think that they're large. And I think that there is a variety of skills. And I think there's also a space for transition of skill as well. So if you're in one industry that doesn't necessarily relate to the green economy and you think, I think I'd like to make a shift, the EcoNext can also provide kind of that advice of, okay, well, here is perhaps where we can guide you that you can find that information. So in regards to carbon capture and storage, greening of businesses, different types of industries coming out, everything from hydrogen to how we're expanding in the blue economy and oceans, I think that there's a lot of opportunity there.
Ashley Noseworthy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Ashley Noseworthy there, President and CEO of Edgewise Environmental. Any other thoughts on what Ashley had to say? Laura, what about yourself?
It's so encouraging to hear a member and former board member to be so positive about her experience with EcoNext and talk about what we have to offer. And I know, Ogaga has done excellent work with the workforce development team, and there's a lot more we want to do. So, if anyone's listening, if anyone owns a business in the province, or if there are communities that are looking to go green, to reduce their impact and maximize benefits, we're here to help.
So then, what do you for that space, that transition space of people who might be working in a certain type of job that's not in the green space, and then thinking, hey, there could be these skills are useful. we want to bring you over. How much more are you folks looking at for that process, that potential going into the future?
So we actually love that because we feel like there's no like if you already have skills, their skills are very fluid and they can be transferred across various industries, across various countries. That's one of the things that we really do believe. So one of the things we have a great team. So we actually even offer sometimes, like sit down with, individuals and say, okay, where are you in your career? What skills have you had? Okay, this is what you have. And we have data of what's to come and what are the needs in the industry right now. And we can definitely just direct, say, hey, there's this job or that job. So for example, we built the EcoNav platform. So that is our centralized online hub for anything green careers in Newfoundland and Labrador.
So the jobs are there on this hub.
They are there.
Okay.
The green jobs. So if you need the green jobs within Newfoundland and Labrador, you can find it there. And, businesses, upload their jobs there. And more businesses are putting in their jobs on that platform. Also, we have, just some of the data that we have researched on in terms of what are some career paths that are coming up in terms of jobs, what will be in demand. So we have a section there for career pathways where people can actually go in and see, oh, these are some of the jobs that will be in demand in the next 5 to 10 years because of the growth of the clean energy industry coming up in Newfoundland. And because of that, they can see, oh, here's how to start the journey. It doesn't have all the jobs, but at least it has 15 jobs right there that it can actually look at the path and then, know how to go to where they need to go to. Also, we have various trainings. Like, for example, someone may not understand, like, what is a green job? Like, we throw that word everywhere. We have that explanation on the EcoNav website. We also have a training, and it's free, Green Economy Foundations training on the same EcoNav platform. So the vision for that platform, it was launched sometime in March, April, and the vision for that platform is for it to be a one-stop hub for anyone in the province who wants to learn about the green economy and careers in the green economy, how they can participate, and also a platform to prepare people with the trainings. And we're collaborating with various stakeholders across the province as well. For example, you see some things from Trades NL on there for their own in their own training aspects there, and we want to collaborate with more because it's an EcoNext initiative, but it's not a platform for just EcoNext. It's a platform for the entire province, from different sides, different regions, for the entire province. So we wanted to have more information there so that when people want to be part of the green economy, they know that's the one space to go to, econav.ca.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I am right now. Navigating the green economy. Newfoundland and Labrador's green economy is constantly growing and evolving, creating new job opportunities in a wide range of industries. And then it's got some stats, right? 200 billion planned clean energy projects could contribute over 200 billion to our GDP. These planned projects could create 11,700 new jobs at peak construction. More than 2,200 full-time positions will be required to support these projects going forward. There are over 20 gigawatts of new energy projects on the horizon. Let me look at the show calendar for a second. I will say we are doing a show this week on Thursday with the folks from Trades NL, and we'll be talking about, the focus is with 2 elections. Where are we right now with what we're hoping to build and trying to build for the economy here, and where are we going? And that will be more than a green economy discussion, but the green economy will be a big part of that discussion. That is Thursday of this week. There's through lines through all the shows we do, folks, as you listen to them. And also scrolling down on the EcoNav site. Yeah. All right. There's a job from valet, a maintenance technician, heavy-duty equipment technician, Labrador City, Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro, various positions. Newfoundland Power is there. And there's a link for view all jobs as well. So just to expand on what you're saying, right? This looks fairly easy because I just kind of Googled it just then and it came up and there's everything there. So then when we do say green jobs, what are your definitions what's your definition of a green job?
Okay, so I will give it a try.
All right, give it a try.
Okay, a green job is basically any job, whether it's directly or indirectly contributing to greening the economy. So when I say directly or indirectly, directly could be a job in environmental. right? That's direct, right? Indirect could be a job like my job in workforce. It may not be directly going in and doing work on, reducing, capturing carbon and all that, right? Or GHGs, right? But I'm preparing people so that they can do that.
Yeah.
So that's indirect. Or an accountant, right? So any job that indirectly or directly contributes to the green of the economy is what's
Yeah. So like anything connected to mitigation or adaptation, right? Anything. So if we're trying to bring down fossil fuels, carbon pollution, well, if you're in a job that's doing that, well, you're in the green economy.
Yeah.
Or also if you're looking to adapt things, like look at all the homes that need to be built in this province. We've done loads of stories and loads of discussions around the housing deficit, we'll say, the fact that we need more homes. There's going to be things in these homes that have to be like from your heat pumps, right, to your insulation, to your windows, to even how we're building some things. All that, so that all that could be included in a green jobs with a lens of a green job in front of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, even the way we build roads and bridges and culverts and seawalls so that they can withstand major floods and extreme weather events. Like, you wouldn't necessarily think of those as green jobs, but they are contributing to the green economy.
It's all part of it. It must be like when I think of climate change, I think sometimes I get stressed around it, right? Because
that makes sense,
right? Because of where things are going and at the rate that they're going, and with extreme weather and that side of it. But then and what I like to try with this show often, if we're focusing also on the solution side, but to hear from you folks and others who are talking about green jobs, who are talking about the green economy and looking at solutions, there's optimism there as well, like a lot of it. But where are each of you on the optimism versus, oh my gosh, this is stressful, and with the reality? I'm just curious.
Do you want me to go first?
Sure. Go for it.
So, as I mentioned earlier, we're laying the foundation and heading in the right direction, but we're running out of time, right? And so targets that were set for 2030 are now 5 years away. They felt really far away. And, regulations have softened. We're seeing that at the federal level as well. And so we can't take for granted that we only have 25 years to get to net zero in 2050. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done between now and then. It is encouraging that the province, when they put forward the climate mitigation plan this summer, that they added a 2040 target as well to get us between 2030 and 2050. That's helpful because we need a marker along the way to see how we're doing and if we're tracking in the right direction. And currently, our province is trending downward in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. We have been since 2019 steadily.
With the exception of downstream oil and gas, sure.
Well, overall
Right?
greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah, for the province, sure, but there is always going to be that separate discussion. And if we talk about a transition, we do have to talk about the oil and gas industry and a transition away from it, because that's the impact from us that has the greatest impact on climate change, which is oil and gas downstream, the stuff we sell.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the carbon capture opportunity comes into play as well, right, to offset. Transportation accounts for 44% of our provincial greenhouse gas emissions. And about a quarter of that, well, the biggest portion is road transportation. Yeah. And the biggest portion of that is light-duty vehicles that we, all drive. But a quarter of that 44% is marine transportation. And that's an area where we can make a significant impact and do some serious work to change the kinds of fuels that are being used in all our marine vessels and really significantly reduce the greenhouse gas emissions for that sector.
Yeah, and what I appreciate so much about this conversation, because when it comes to climate change, it's that people say a lot, there's no silver bullet, right? Because there's so, like, if we're talking about mitigation, right, lowering carbon pollution, well, that's the car I drove to work this morning, right? But that's the ships in the harbor, that's like the aircraft overhead. There's so many different areas where we have to try to kind of lower things and then figure out a better alternative for fueling. And so for what's the conversation like when it comes to shipping and talking to folks?
So that's a really interesting conversation because marine transportation, aviation, and others are considered hard to abate industries.
Yeah.
And so what that term means is that essentially it's very difficult to switch from the fossil fuels that they're reliant on because there isn't currently available a commercial scale alternative. So that could be a real opportunity here in Newfoundland and Labrador. You know, we're a huge coastal marine community. We have vessels ranging from fishing vessels to tankers and everything in between. And we should be developing clean fuels here on the island domestically and then using them to decarbonize marine transportation here across the province. And we can set an example for other jurisdictions around the country and around the world.
You're listening to The Signal. I'm Adam Walsh. Today on the show, we're talking about transitioning to a greener economy. I've got representatives from EcoNext, a not-for-profit in Newfoundland and Labrador that wants to accelerate clean growth, here with me in the studio. Right, you're just listening to Laura Barron, CEO of EcoNext. Ogaga Johnson is here, Director of Workforce Development, and Alex Rumbold, Sustainability Lead. We've also been talking to, we spoke to one so far. We've got another one to speak to for companies who are doing work with EcoNext. So we have Bill Donovan, Senior Manager, Strategy and Growth with Angler Solutions on the line. Bill, how you doing?
I'm good, Adam. How are you?
Good. Tell folks about Angler Solutions.
Yeah, Angler Solutions is a local engineering consulting firm, which really doesn't tell you much, but we're primarily focused on providing strategic advisory project delivery services. We're not a construction engineering. We're not into design. A lot of it's at early stage advisory, feasibility. We work in multiple sectors, but we do have a primary focus on the renewable energy and energy diversification sectors.
So can you give it, when we say renewable energy, what's an example that you can tell folks so that they can understand exactly like the type of advice you're giving and how that can work?
For us, it's the founder of our company. When he spent most of his career working in the offshore oil and gas industry, and kind of saw the change in the dynamics in the sector and where people are heading with respect to energy transition and clean energy solutions. So when we look at renewable energy, is how do we live and work within the area that we're in now and make it cleaner? And we look at the fossil fuels and turn that into cleaner options to reduce emissions, reduce GHG. Laura talked about it earlier, trying to help Canada get to net zero in 2050. And some people might think 25 years is a long ways off,
Yeah.
but actually it's not.
It's fast.
And it is coming fast, and there's a lot needs to happen between now and 2050. And then there's challenges attached to that. There's if we look at Newfoundland's example and the success that we've had in our offshore oil and gas industry, but it's also looking at the assets that we have offshore and how can we reuse them in a clean option. And carbon capture was touched on, I think, by both Laura and Ashley, and that's a growing area of interest globally. And we really saw that in an event that we attended about a year and a half ago in Norway. And now there are some studies and there is some work and research being done on that in Newfoundland to see how we can use the capacity, the reservoirs, and the I want to say the closed-up wells we have offshore, and use it from a storage standpoint for carbon capture. Looking at energy storage options onshore. There's talking about storing energy in, say, salt caverns, as an example. There's a couple of projects looking at that on the west coast of the island, and we've been working with some proponents related to that. We've been working with proponents that are focused on the I want to say the wind hydrogen movement that's been hitting Newfoundland and Labrador. It's slowed a little bit right now, but there's still a lot of momentum there, a lot of interest, and the opportunities are very significant. And it's just to try and take the natural resources we have and turn it into long-term, sustainable, clean power options.
So then when you look at a group like EcoNext and the fact that how it works and who it's in touch with and what it's trying to help facilitate for the province. How important do you think it is to have a focal point for the transition like EcoNext?
I think it's very important because if we look at industry, we're a for-profit company. Our goal is to generate revenues, make profits, and have I want to say long-term success. There's a lot of research being done at the academic level, and some of that can be some. I'm going to say this really loosely: self-serving work from a research and a revenue generation standpoint. But it's very important to have an industry-driven organization like EcoNext that are there's nothing to be gained by them supporting one over the other. They are there to support and to drive the transition that needs to be focused. They focus on the environmental sustainability of not just Newfoundland and Labrador, but Canada and globally. Right? They learn a lot of what's happening in other jurisdictions. Try and bring it to Newfoundland. Ashley touched on the fact that EcoNext, we've found over the years, are very in touch with the capabilities within Newfoundland and Labrador, who has expertise in various areas, and do a really good job of bringing that expertise into projects that are really focused on really heading towards and getting Newfoundland to a net zero by 2050. We've worked with them very closely over the last number of years, but I'm going to say very closely over the last year. We've worked with a number of people on the EcoNext team. Ogaga, we were directly involved with her Green Roots Career Serious project earlier this year. We recently completed a energy storage applications and potential paper that was released recently, and we're going to do some more work on that in the fall. We're working closely with EcoNext on an international marine clean mobility study, which brings industry, academia, government partners together to evaluate the energy diversification options for marine vessels, looking at alternative fuels, looking at coatings, looking at batteries, powertrains, anything to help reduce the emissions and promote, say, greener vessel technologies and electrification. But we're also working with global partners on that and trying to bring in best practices that are happening in other jurisdictions and see how we can bring that forward to Newfoundland. A lot of that's being driven by EcoNext. Again, there's no gain from EcoNext. It's just the gain is what the province gains and what the country gains. So our overall partnership with EcoNext has been extremely strong, and we look forward to continuing to work closely with them.
Bill Donovan, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Anytime, Adam.
All right, cheers. Bill Donovan there, Senior Manager, Strategy and Growth with Angler Solutions. Laura, I'll go back to you. I think Bill did a great job of laying out the underlying bit through the show today, which is it's an all hands on deck sort of thing that for you folks, it's like we're trying to work with everyone on this giant issue that is changing, has been changing, is changing, will continue to change the planet, and we're just trying to figure out a way through it to hopefully have the best outcome for living.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right. I mean, we're connectors. That's what EcoNext is all about. So we're connecting businesses like Angler Solutions and Fundamental Inc. and government and the post-secondary education institutions and the researchers there and communities to work together to identify what the challenges are and to figure out solutions together. And so, like I said, we work together on research. Mm-hmm. We try to figure out innovative solutions. We support workforce development once those skills and those needs are identified. And then overall work on climate adaptation and climate mitigation initiatives. So we're really, looking ahead to what's needed, but also responding to what's currently available and not available here in the province, and trying to fill those gaps and ensure our local businesses are ready for what's coming next and can maximize their opportunities.
So, Alex, then for the call for businesses, right? You're open for business, for talking to them. But giving me the message? We said it earlier, but just repeat or give me a bit more of the message around who you want to work with, how that can happen.
Yeah. So with our greening business project, we kind of have 3 components to that project. So 3 opportunities for businesses. So the first is that we just launched our Green 101 for Business course.
Cool.
So it has 8 modules. It goes deep into, how climate change affects businesses, how they have an impact on the environment, and then just opportunities to become more green, and the benefits to that, a big, financial perks. So that's available online right now for businesses to take part in. And we also have our greening business workshops that we are bringing around to different regions of the province. So we have 4 coming up, one in Grand Falls, Windsor on October 2nd. And then we're heading to Labrador. We're going to Lab City on the 22nd of October and Happy Valley Goose Bay on the 24th of October. And then we have another one in the Conception Bay area on November 5th. So business owners, business development professionals, anyone who's looking to figure out how to help businesses become more green are welcome to attend those. And we bring in speakers from like Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, the Department of Industry, Energy and Technology, Take Charge, different organizations like that to talk about some financial incentives to becoming more green. And then the third component of the project, I call it kind of our biggest component, is the sustainability assessments. So we'll be working with 25 businesses in the province and connecting them to consultants who will help them undertake assessments relating to greenhouse gas emissions, energy efficiency, and waste. And we're happy to be able to cover about 75% of the costs relating to those assessments for the businesses. And I'll just go through some of the eligibility.
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, go for it.
If that's okay. So the businesses have to be involved in one of the following. So either involved in a supply chain, look at or they can be exporting internationally or looking to attract private investment. So those are the businesses that are eligible to participate in those sustainability assessments with us.
Yeah, so if you're in charge of bringing sprockets into the province, well, then that's part of the supply chain for wherever the sprockets go.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
All right. The important part
we can never get enough sprockets.
I mean, it's such a crucial part of the economy. All right, Olgaga, what's coming up for you? What are you working on? What's the future of where your work is going?
So we have we literally this weekend just concluded our fall ideathon, and it's interesting that we're talking about climate change because the prompt for the students was for them to create a solution, service, or products that will help businesses, individuals, or communities to offset their carbon emissions. So that was interesting. We got 3 winners, and the first place winner will be pitching their idea at our conference, which is very exciting for a student to be in front of, so many businesses, industry experts.
Great opportunity.
Yeah, and it was just a 48 hours, timeline for them to actually prepare. They didn't know the prompt beforehand. They just knew it on Friday, last week Friday.
Oh, wow.
And it was really good. We had about 70 students register for the event, about 10 teams present, and then we have 3 winners. So really excited about that just concluded. Upcoming, we have Green Roots 2.0. The Green Roots program was what Bill was talking about.
Yeah.
That has 3 components. So we do a career readiness for newcomers, for them to be ready to participate and, be part of the green economy here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Then we take them to different businesses who are green businesses. For example, Edgewise, they participated in the last one, Angler Solutions, so that they have more like a job shadow for half a day to see what it feels like to work in organizations within Newfoundland and Labrador in the green space. And they also get to interact with the industry professionals, the people working there. They get to understand the products, the services. So it's just a great opportunity to connect for newcomers.
Well, and especially in a province that has issues with retention of newcomers.
Exactly.
And you know what retains people? jobs
Exactly. So that is the
and community.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. So that is one of the main things we're doing, obviously with the support from the government of Newfoundland and Labrador. And then we place 5 to 7 people to work for 3 to 4 months within that program. So that is coming up this week. We'll open registrations for that. And we're really excited about that because currently, through that program, we see that 50 to 60% of participants actually go on to get full-time employment within the green space and stay in the province. So that's really great, contributing to, the economic growth of the province and, having the people that we need to grow and boost and accelerate the green economy here.
Yeah, because last I checked, in the last quarter, the population here took another dip down as opposed to repeat quarters of growth. And I know, yes, there's a bigger immigration discussion nationally and everything else, but if we look at the demographics of this province, on the dip down, if you're keeping some folks and putting them in the greener economy, it's doubling up on some of the big issues we're facing.
Absolutely. There's enormous opportunity for Newfoundland and Labrador when it comes to workforce, and we're just playing a small part in that, and we hope to continue playing, our role in that space to ensure that we are not only welcoming newcomers, but we're helping them to integrate, settle, and stay and be part of the community to ensure a more richer culture in Newfoundland and Labrador and, prosperity for the province overall.
And there's a big conference coming up.
Yes.
Tell me about it in we got a few minutes, a couple minutes left. Anyways. 3 minutes.
Sure. Okay. That's lots of time.
Loads,
so,
buckets.
So our annual conference is happening on October 9th at the Delta, St. John's. There are a variety of topics that will be discussed, and as Ogaga said, the student winners from the Ideathon will get to present. There are a few opportunities for students there this year. There are 4 key panel discussions. The first is focused on marine decarbonization. So we have KPMG Canada, Canadian Coast Guard, Green Marine, and Hatch, and Marine Institute as part of that one, so that'll be a great discussion. The second is workforce development. Ogaga is moderating that panel, and that will include Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro, North Atlantic, MISA, and Memorial University's Regional Analytics Lab. And then we have a guest from the Netherlands who runs a green operation as well that will be part of that. The third is about innovation in the electricity sector. So our grid is changing and needs to change. Am I running out of time?
No. The music. Don't worry. The music will play.
Okay,
so
the
you're
cane
fine.
will come in
Yeah.
and get me.
Yeah.
So, as we've mentioned in this conversation, there are several large renewable energy projects on the horizon. There are energy storage opportunities. They're all looking to connect to our provincial grid. So what does that mean? What kind of technology and adaptation needs to happen? So there's a great discussion about that.
Part of it, Churchill Falls, Gull Island, question marks, right?
Absolutely.
Around what's happening. I'm seeing that
Yes.
there's someone from Hydro-Quebec going to be at this thing.
They will.
Okay, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then finally, there will be a session on national and international clean energy trends. So looking at what's happening worldwide and looking at the domestic opportunities here in the province. So that includes Marine Renewables Canada, the Canadian Renewable Energy Association, the Canadian-German Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Angler Solutions, so Bill's company will be on there, and Pedal and Shift, a local engineering consultancy as well.
Ian Froud, right?
That's Ian Froud, that's right.
Former St. John City Councillor.
That's right.
These are big discussions.
They are.
And exciting discussions, really, because it is like trying to figure out where we're going and how to get there and to bring everyone together with input around it. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Any other final thoughts in the last 30 seconds?
No.
No? All right. I think.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I would say, if you're listening, if you're a business owner or even an individual with a business idea and you're interested in working in our green economy, reach out. We're at econext.ca, ECONEXT.ca, and we'd love to hear from you.
Okay. Laura Barron, Ogaga Johnson, Alex Rumbold, thank you so much for coming in for this today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. That is it for today's show. As always, if you've got thoughts on us, it could be about the green transition, the green economy, green jobs, just overall thoughts on the show, The Signal at cbc.ca. You can text us 709-327-8206. Call the Signal line and leave a message 709-576-5260. Tomorrow, gardening day. Todd Boland will be in from the Munn Botanical Garden. Plus, we've got a couple of... So it's a regular gardening show, but with a couple of extra voices to talk about some interesting stuff that you'll find out tomorrow. I'm not going to ruin it now for the spoiler. And yeah, folks, thanks for listening. Cheers.